Okay, so I'm just leaving church. It's Sunday. I don't normally film or post on Sundays. I don't know. I just don't. I always just want to do it during the week. But in Vlogmas, you do it every day. So I thought I'd come and talk to you about, I don't know, something. Let's see. What can I talk about? I haven't even thought about it. Okay. Let's see. What is something I feel strongly about, like spiritually wise? And okay, let me think. I think that would have to be prayer. Prayer is very big to me. It always has been since I was a little girl. I've always been a big prayer, and I'm not always perfect at it. Sometimes I fall asleep without remembering, and I'll wake up and think, oh, I didn't pray, and so I'll just pray right there. Sometimes when I can't sleep at night, I'll pray until I fall asleep, and just silently praying while I'm laying down, silently pray about all the things that are, running through my mind. Let's see, another thing. I believe that much strength comes from prayer. Comfort, strength, healing can come if it's God's will. So I guess the time in my life that I prayed the most, of course, other than praying for your children and your family, well, the time that I've probably prayed the most is when I had my stroke, and I felt, quite honestly, just a little bit abandoned, like I had done something wrong, and I had been ripped away from my family a little bit. In that I was an hour away in a hospital, and I had a young family at home and a husband, and I was very lonely, and I prayed. I don't know how many hours a day I prayed. Just always had a prayer going on in my mind, and I know that so many people, when they found out what had happened to me, were also praying so much. That really touches me that they did that for me. And also, I find that I get more answers and more help when I pray specifically. That's one of my big beliefs about prayer, is praying specifically. And that is, when I have a problem, I think it out in my head as well as I can, and I try to think of a solution, and then I pray to know if that is the right solution. And I pray. And so what happened with my stroke was I had, damaged my brain, and I needed to make some new connections. Like, for, I don't know how much I've told you about my stroke, but so for the first couple of days, I really couldn't walk. I mean, very much. I had lost that ability on my left side to walk, and my left arm and hand were just hung there. Oh, here come the railroad tracks. Sorry. Boom, ba boom. So, and no one, when you're in the hospital in that situation and they don't really have many answers, they will not tell you, oh yeah, that usually comes back by week 1 or whatever. They just said, I don't know. We don't know. It may come back. It may not come back. We just don't know, how extensive the damage is and all that. So I was they would wake me up early in the morning. Well, I called them the vampires. The medical, students from across the street would come over and draw my blood, every morning at 4:30 or something. And that would wake me up and get my, when you finally go to sleep, you've kind of forgotten about what's happened to you. And then you're woke up and you're like, oh no, oh yeah, I'm in the hospital. Ugh, and they're jabbing me with a needle. But after that, all day long, morning till evening, with a little lunch break, they had me in this room doing rehab. And in the rehab, it was stuff I was not able to do. I was not able to move my arm and work on moving my arm because I couldn't move my arm. So in about 3 days, I was able to move my leg. I was moving my leg before, but then I was able to walk and all that, clumsily within 3 days, I believe. But my arm just hung there for 2 weeks. Nothing, no movement. It's not like it was paralyzed. I could still feel, I could feel pain or whatever in it if I had pain, but it just hung there, useless. So when I would walk, it would just like bump into my leg and move around. So it was quite concerning because I had this young family and babies to pick up and all that. So I was doing all I could do. I was doing trying to do the exercises. So what they would do, since my arm wouldn't move, they would strap it. I remember the little hand bike where you would do this. They would like strap it to it, and so my working arm would do the motion, and the other one would just follow through. And I guess that was teaching my brain what to do to make my arm work, but it wasn't really working. And so prayer was good. It got me through it. So I remember we got to thinking, and I guess in talking to doctors, we realized that my brain had to make new connections. So they had to branch out. Something had to branch out and make new connections for my arm to work. And so that became my prayer. Help my brain, please, to make new connections. And I would tell everybody I knew. Well, we would tell everybody we knew. Please include that in your prayers. And so anyway, it was on Mother's Day that year. They allowed me to go home for Mother's Day one day, and like just during the day. And my mom made a big brunch for us all, and we had a little church, like home church. We had a little church, and I ate, and then it was the lowest point probably of my whole life when I had to leave my family and go back to the hospital. I know it sounds so dramatic. It was just a couple of weeks at that point. But I had never been away from my family, and I felt bad about not taking care of them. So anyway, I got home. I got back to the hospital that night, and my dad was there, and he used to read some scriptures with me, or just talk to me until I would get sleepy to fall asleep, and then he would leave and go home. But we were there. Hold on. I thought I'd gotten to the point where I could talk about this without crying, really. But anyway. And I've been meaning to tell my stroke story for a long time, but you can see why I don't really enjoy doing it. But so I was just laying there, getting ready to go to sleep, and my dad was sitting there, and he said he put his hand up here, and he goes, "Kim, put your hand up here." And my hand my useless hand just floated up to where his hand was. And so that was my own little personal miracle. And I believe that my Heavenly Father did that specific miracle for me on Mother's Day, because He knew how hard it was for me to be away from my babies. And And so anyway, the next morning I was all excited and about it, and I was so excited to show, what was their names? Brad and Ben were my rehab therapists, if that's what they're called, physical therapists. And I was so excited to tell them the next morning when they got there. And I told them, but again, my arm was back to not moving. So I promise you, it moved last night. And so we started trying the rehab exercises again, and nothing would happen. But what we realized after that, I remember that day, they had this strap that they would put around this arm, and I would move it. I would the other arm. I would move it back and forth. But somebody started pulling on it against, and then I was able to pull against it. And so my brain needed that. It needed that opposition for it to work. And so they started gently pulling, and so I was able to start moving my arm. And from there, I just kept working on it, and I still spent another couple of weeks in the hospital before they would let me come home and then continue the physical therapy back at home, which I still had to continue physical therapy. I think about 6 months or so. So anyway, that's my story for the stroke, and that's my video. Do I want to leave on that? I guess I will. I guess that's it. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. I hope that you know that God loves you, and that you can pray and have your prayers be heard and answered in God's time and will. Anyway, I'm thankful for all of you. I think of you all. Anybody who is watching my video and is not mean, which I don't really have anybody that's been mean to me. If you're doing that and you're being nice to me, I love you, and I am so glad you're here. And I consider you a friend that I've never met in person. And I hope you'll have a great weekend. The rest of the weekend, which is just tonight, and then tomorrow we get back after work. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Action.
So maybe I should say something. So I'm finally getting my tree up. Got my tree up yesterday. Well, Jeff helped tremendously get the tree up yesterday. And now it's my job to get the lights on, which is the worst job. But we're gonna get it done. But I'm gonna have to go. This is all I have left, so I'm gonna have to go buy another box of lights at Walmart tomorrow. So I hope you're having a lovely Sunday, or whatever day you're watching this. Bye-bye.
Everybody wants to see it
done. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fine. I'm snagged here. I can't get it to go right. It's about to go around the back of the tree where you can't see it.
So is that going to be a total of 900 lights when you're done with that
Now
one?
this, I was wrong earlier. this is 600. So yeah, if I get another box, it'll be 900.
But
Right.
when you're done with this, it'll be 600.
Yeah, this will be 600 so far.
Yeah, I like that line in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
They're not twinkling,
The
Clark.
little lights aren't twinkling, Clark. He worked really hard.
So do washing machines.
Let this be a lesson to you, children.
Tremendous waste of
Wasted.
resources.
Of time and resources or something like that. So rude. And what's your favorite Christmas movie that you like to watch, that you have to watch every year at Christmas time? What's yours, Jeff?
I like Christmas Vacation pretty good.
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way is good.
You just have to pick one
Oh,
that you can't live without.
yeah. I would have to say that it's Christmas Vacation.
I'm torn between that and Elf.
Oh, I forgot about Elf.
Yeah.
Well, so it depends on who I'm watching it with. If
Yeah.
it's younger kids,
Me too.
then Elf.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's me, myself, I think it's Christmas Vacation.
Turn it around and say hi so they can see who's talking to them. I think everyone in the comments should say that this would be a good job for Jeff to do.
Oh, Q, we've talked about this. This is the division of responsibility that we've agreed to.
All right, fine. This is always the way it goes. I never can get everything all done at once. I bet you're like this too. Maybe. I mean, I get one day I put it up, the next day maybe we do lights, the next day maybe we do some garland or ribbon or something. Well, and then the decorations, and then of course the star. I'm not sure where my star is. I'm gonna have to go up in the attic and look.